Hi, yo, what's happening? Smoking with Too Tall. You know what I'm saying? I got some guests over here. Introduce yourselves.
How you doing? I'm Ryan. My name, or Delta Fade, as it goes by.
And I go by Jake, formerly known as Jake.is.next. Artist, you can find me on Instagram and all platforms.
All right, yo, so you guys have been collabing for a hot minute, I think, since what, like 2019, at least, bare minimum, if not before that?
Yeah, probably like 2017.
2017.
Yeah.
Okay, so first off, we'll just start by telling everybody like how y'all got together, like how'd y'all meet, type shit.
Well, I met Jake when we were playing baseball when we were in fourth grade, and ever since then, like I got to be very close with him, playing baseball and all that. And then ever since then, he's been a legitimate part of my family, and we've been extremely close ever since then. And he spends every holiday with my family.
Yeah, so yeah, we saying like really from Easter, Thanksgiving, even again, last 3, 4 Christmases I've been at fucking his crib every Christmas day. So we're really locked in what we're doing.
What made you guys like want to collab though? Is that something that y'all always like would talk about, or?
Well, we always have
Well,
been dicking around with music for a long time.
But yeah, but how it happened were to where actually we were all was into sports when we were younger, to where we actually another mutual friend of ours named Shay, who's in like a metal band. They used to have their own like band that they kind of created when we were young, just
Yeah.
like just messing
Urkies.
around music called like in that band called the Urkies.
Okay.
Like which is like certain, but like that's just like how we were. We're goofy, but also serious and goofy at the same point. To then he ended up started developing like making like fucking like EDM music and like those type of beats, and he was doing great within that. To where I'd be with him, his best friend, watching him like mastering that and getting to that. To then it got to a point where after watching him for so long, I was like, we should maybe start like thinking about like putting like vocals on this type of shit. To then since that he got a blue Yeti at Walmart, and then from there we just started like building off of shit, and he learned a whole different like way of producing, and it slowly became to where we're at now.
Yeah, and at the time you weren't even going by Delta Fade, right?
No,
you were
I
going by
was
Euphoric.
I was going by Euphoric,
Yeah.
and I made the name in like 2014, and I used to I was wicked into making future bass and EDM and shit, and I was trying to get on Monster Cat, if you know what that is. It's
I
like
don't.
and it was like an EDM channel on YouTube, and I was wicked into it, and I was trying to get into that shit, and I used to send them the most dog shit music, and but I was, I just got to learn FL, was starting to get pretty good at making EDM, and then it came a switch where Jake wanted to start recording on it in around 2017, and then I just kind of, it was less production but more focusing on recording, which is like a whole different art in and of itself. But yeah, I did switch from Euphoric to Fade because there was a rapper from Vancouver who went by the same pen name, and me and him were kind of like both of our shit was clashing on platforms and stuff because I was starting to drop. And so I messaged him on SoundCloud, and I was like, I'm gonna, you were Euphoric first, I'm gonna change my name. But he's good too. He's a good artist. But I was kind of, and once I started to make like R&B and vocals and stuff, it was like two Euphorics that are, it can't happen. So I had to change it.
Because I noticed the first time you used the name Delta Fade was on the track Fade Away. That was that on the Ryan Cole channel still?
Oh yeah, on Getting There. Yeah. That was I dropped that under Euphoric.
Okay.
And changed into Delta Fade when the fourth album came out, The Hiding in Plain Sight, and then that's when I switched on the platforms. Everything like I just kind of like erased history, and I was like, I'm not. Just that's all Delta Fade because I wanted it all to be under the same name.
But why the name Delta Fade specifically?
No
Just now something.
I've been trying to change it. I tried to change it like 3 times.
It's like because it's because we always think of like we just always think outside of the box and obscure like different type shit.
Yeah.
Like even me, like before Jake is next, like I go by JIN, but it's Jake is next, but JIN for short. But before that, my name was Two Side.
Oh, okay.
But it was spelled
I like Two Side too.
TUSIDE.
And then it was obscene
Towards
before
like
that.
towards always like in my head it was like two sides of a story. Like there's like you're happy and sad, but like it doesn't matter. Even if you're happy, you could be like posting happy music, you could be sad, or sad, you could be making happy music.
Yeah,
It's just two sides to a story.
The Delta Fade I tried changing like a couple times because I was trying to, the biggest reason why I was Delta Fade was because I wanted to make a name that like if you searched it on Google that nothing else would come up besides me. And that was my biggest thing, that I was like, if you search this, I want like only my shit to pop up. And but of course, since COVID, the Delta variant, Delta 8 THC, everything's, you know, everything's fucking me over now. So, but that was the main thing, because I was super like trying to create my own, like, you know, if you search this is me. And but I tried changing it a few times because it kind of sounds like, I always thought like it sounds like if someone's trying to, like a kid's trying to be smart and think of something that sounds smart, like Delta. You know, that name, like I was like, oh, I started getting second thoughts, but
You
enough
think of big words like trying to
enough
be
people
fucking
started
cool.
to like know what Delta Fade was, to the point where I was like, it's too late to change it now. You know what I mean? I didn't want to have to go back and be like, this is what it is now. So I kept it.
I noticed on some of your older posts too, like I saw some MF Doom appreciation
Oh,
and
fuck.
shit.
Oh,
So
yeah.
who are some of your guys' inspirations?
You
For
wanna go
me, it's
first?
like James Brown and like old school. I love like the old school and like rock shit. That's like that really resonates with me. To where it's not about like much as the sound that I make, but like the shit that they do. It just like implements of like what I'm trying to use in my craft, but in a different type of format, in a different way. But most of the people that I love are all people that make the complete opposite style of music that I make in a stupidly weird way.
Nah, I totally get that because I'm kind of the same way. Like I listen to a bunch of R&B, but I can't sing for shit. You can ask anybody.
It gives you that feeling, you know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
makes you want to fucking. MF Doom was a, you know, because I didn't really like rap until I was probably like early high school.
Oh, really?
But I mean, I liked like obviously I was huge into Odd Future and
Yeah,
shit.
we
But like
fucking used to
that
watch
was
the
different,
shit
yeah. Because
out of that show.
Loader Squad came out on my like my 11th birthday.
Loader Squad
And
was
that
funny
was
as
my
shit.
fucking shit, dude.
Yeah.
And so like I got into Odd Future because of them. And Earl Sweatshirt still to this day is my favorite rapper of all time, and that'll probably never change. But MF Doom was huge for me. I'd say like I model my production mostly off JPEG Mafia,
Mm.
and I model my singing, I guess honestly, majority off John Mayer.
Yeah,
Like it's
this
kind of what
dude's
I'm trying. Like
is
I want to
rock
be
hard
that.
for that
Like if
motherfucker.
I could play guitar like that, I wish I could play guitar. Dude, I think John Mayer is so fucking good. But I'd say yeah, John Mayer.
Gravity.
Yeah, and Steely Dan's one of my favorite bands ever, and just
Phil Collins.
Phil Collins.
Is,
is
okay,
fucking-
he's a
yeah.
bad
yeah,
dude.
I'm super into
Phil
yacht
Collins
rock
fire.
and shit.
All,
Like,
hey,
yacht
all you
rock
need to
is just
do
my
is if
shit.
fucking no one knows who he is, watch Tarzan and then listen to the
Tarzan,
soundtrack.
Phil Collins on the Tarzan
Yeah.
That-
soundtrack.
Yeah, that's a good
Dude, it's so emotional.
That man was
So
on some
good.
shit
Yeah,
making
Phil
that.
Collins fire.
Yeah, it's pretty much anything that's not like contemporary. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm kind of a snob in that sense where
I want to
listen to a
know.
lot of
Can
the
you show
bullshit.
me?
But yeah, that's a lot of I draw a lot of inspiration from a lot of different things.
Okay, so why did you guys decide to call your like collab project Wild East Industry? Because you got two of them.
I think same reason as every time. It just sounds cool.
Again, we just go for like outside the box and like we're in the east, we're towards the New Hampshire side in the woods and shit's like classify the wild, and then again we just were like, all right, well we need something else to fix it off and like finish it.
It is based off of because like I think you and JV were talking about it, like how I have a whole list of names and shit. Like I hear things and then think about names. So I remember there was this I took a nutrition course at college, and it was they called like the grading system for like the counting calories or something. They call it the Wild West industry.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's something like the something about nutrition, Wild West industry. I just remember that phrase, and I was like, Wild West industry, it sounds badass. And then Wild East industry because we're from the East.
Okay.
And so I was like, fuck it. And then the second album, I like the name, so WEI too.
Okay, so both of y'all pick one song off of both of the WEIs. That's y'all's favorites.
Oh,
Like
I like that
individually.
question. That's a good question. Like off the first and the second.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, like honestly, I still think it's like probably the long way to the one that we released before, like the single before the album, because that shit like was a statement of like implementing people to get ready for it. And for me, like
Yeah, that
it
was the
just
pre-release.
felt like it was the right move to like introduce our album, and like especially with both of us being on it, and we just to hear it, it was like we both again gave like our full voice for that song, and it just felt like it was like the one for what we were doing at the point. That was probably my favorite because like the long way, it perfectly opened up to introduce people anxiously waiting for like the album, and I feel like again with that album, there was so many like different tracks that were all like different in their own like sense. To where that for me felt like it was me and him really like locked in like the fluidity of like the song itself.
What about the first album? What was your favorite off the first album?
I'm not even
those
gonna
were
lie.
old, dude.
Like,
Those were
and
some
see, that's
old
what I'm saying. Again, like, I can't even lie. Like, I can't even remember like half the song titles. To like, but if you played the song, I could sing the whole song to you.
Right,
but I
right.
can't remember like the titles because we've made so much shit and done other things to where it just isn't there.
I'd tell you, my favorite off the first album is probably 2011.
Oh my god,
yeah.
oh no, Corner Store. Corner Store is my favorite.
Corners, yeah. And then my favorite off the second is Beverly Hills Cop by a long shot because I fucking love it. And then With All Due Respect,
Yeah,
because that was gonna be on Religion of Peace, but I was like, and you know what? 2014 Spurs was gonna be on Wildest Industry too.
like I said, they were all fire in their own right.
We were all over the place with that, just picking and choosing what was gonna go on which. But yeah.
And Religion of Peace was your most recent release that came out in 2024. You had 8 songs on it with features from Johnny Vargas, Tav, and then you're on it as well on the song The Powers That Be. Tell me about how like The Powers That Be came together.
Basically, it was just like Ryan, just again, like he's done a lot of shit for so many like not like 4 artists, but like in his own right, he likes who he likes and allows them to come to his studio and make like shit to where he's collaborate a lot of people. But again, like with that, fucking Tav and Johnny, like they like again in their own right, we made great music. But speaking of Tav, aside from Religion Peace, like that dude is fucking a phenomenal
Tav is
fucking
so
artist.
fucking good, dude.
And
I'm so
he
blessed
just
to have him in the
and
studio.
I love him to
Russian
death,
cream.
dude. But I know
Yeah.
you're gonna be listening to this or seeing this somehow. You need to fucking drop your damn music, man.
Yeah.
And stop deleting it because you're fucking so much better than so many people.
He was my favorite
He was
artist of
like my favorite
2020.
artist, dude.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
dude, I love it.
Dude, he's fucking oh,
Prayer too. I wish I could remix that.
dude. Yeah.
All right, well,
It's
talking about
insane.
Powers That Be.
Sorry, he was on the album.
No,
man.
I
It
know
was
Tav.
great.
No, I
He's
love Tav.
fucking.
I
He's
love
so
Tav
and he's
so
such a
much.
great, amazing person and like draws very well. Like he did the cover for me.
Yeah.
For my
Oh
album.
yeah, I love
Yes.
that cover where
Yeah.
you have like a Pokemon.
I mean, yeah,
like,
like
that shit's
he's
hard.
amazing, dude.
Nah, Tav's crazy. I remember I was at a party with this man over here behind the camera, and before I passed the fuck out, I remember Tav was performing. They had the entire party, all eyes was on him, and I was
He's
like,
so
damn,
fucking
yo,
good, dude.
he got that performance.
Yeah,
and-
he's fucking fantastic.
Just
all
one
around.
of my favorite voices I've ever heard. No matter what, it's so good.
Really
Bro,
is.
and
It
hearing
really
him
is.
record and just hearing
Oh,
that
it's the
voice
best,
in
dude. The
person.
process of
I
him
was
recording, it's like,
angelic.
dude.
We had him through for prayer. The first
Yeah.
time I ever met him,
I
and
cannot
he
promise
just
a
lays
damn
down
thing.
some of the craziest
I
shit.
still
fucking
listen to that song to
insane,
this
dude.
day.
I was
He's
so
so
good.
good.
That was back
hard.
when my mixing was because I was mixing a wide open room. My snares were too loud. I can't. It makes me mad to listen to. But
Yeah, it's like
his voice is so goddamn good, dude. I can't get
Yeah,
enough
yeah.
of it. I can't. He's so good. We had another really good unreleased one too that I wanted to drop, but remember like
shit happens. Yeah, shit happens.
I know.
You gotta do.
All right, but the Powers That Be. Sorry, I'm gonna get up.
Don't look at me. It's your album, buddy.
No,
What
I
I
know.
gotta say.
Sorry. All right, I didn't want to step on it, but all right. So I made that beat. I found this like the like I found that like the sample. I found that and I put like a bass line over it. Made the beat and then we're sitting. And that was back in probably the summer of 2023 or 2022. I think I made that beat in 2022.
Sometime.
And the summer of 2022, and it came out in 2024. So that was actually an old beat, and we actually recorded the majority of that song before, like probably almost 2 years before I actually even dropped the project. And I was waiting for my next project to drop it. But we were sitting on that for a while because I wanted to wait for a good time because I knew I liked that. So that's a great song, and it crisp as hell, and that was definitely going to be one of the feature songs on the project, and. That was how that came to be, and it was a little too late for Wildest Industry 2 because we made it kind of right after we dropped that, and so I was waiting for the right time to drop it. So I held on to that and 2014 Spurs, and pretty much revolved that entire project around those 2 songs because I wanted to have a reason to drop them.
So what happened with Echo Lake then? Because that came out 2024 as well.
Yeah, Echo Lake was we made that as a single because we were gonna perform that for Shishko's second show.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Because we had that show coming up and we were gonna make a single for it, and that's what that was. So yeah, we made Echo Lake, I think, pretty much for that show.
Mm.
Yeah, and that was when we met Lil.
Yeah, I mean,
Lil
it was basically for the show, but it was also like, again, to how like life works. So it was like also trying to open up to like what we're gonna be releasing for the next year to like. But then that's why we say a little bit. But once we released it, it was again just like showing that this is the song day. We're gonna be dropping a whole tape or whatever soon, but we haven't yet. But it's because again we're very picky and very like wanting to perfect what we want to drop. Like it's not about just like again great to mass with like drop shit, but for us, it's not also just about getting the views and being in people's face doing it. It's more about the exact feeling and sound and making sure that it's right because we don't want to flood people with shit to where like we end up dropping one of our best songs fucking 2 weeks prior, but then flood people for the next week. So then they don't even really get to like see it because it's from other shit that's way worse, but also good in its own right.
And you mentioned that you met Lil G there or Lil G. And so
Dude,
you
we
guys
fucking
met
love
there
Dude.
and then
He's
pulled
fucking
up
the
and
shit.
did zones, or how'd that happen?
Dude,
Yeah, we met, actually, I think, did we make zones before? I think we dropped zones before Echo Lake.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
that came out in
Yeah, we
2020.
dropped that before.
Yeah. So obviously most like most everything. He's introduced me to these people. You know, and Lil G's amazing guy. Is it Lil G?
I
Lil
imagine
G.
G.
Lil
It
G.
looks like Lil G.
Such an amazing dude. And he came through when we made zones. And then we did a few and he did the shows and he was killing it. And I think it was his first show.
His first show was the one with Shisco
Okay.
at that fucking I forget the spot name. I'm sorry for forgetting it, but they have a great spot.
Lounge.
Imperial Lounge.
Oh,
With Shisco and Darkseid and fucking Vargas and all them.
Yeah.
And it was G's first performance. And like his mom was there and family and like and shit at the time, like and he fucking killed it. Like honestly, like and Shisco was phenomenal and the show was for him, like and everyone went crazy for him, but like he like for his first time performing, like he had the entire crowd going nuts, like it was like his headline.
Yeah.
And I was so fucking, I was so proud for him. Like and that's because again, he's like, and not down to him, but like again, like we all have our own feels and like think like this, but like that right there, that show in itself showed him like I fucking am good and can do this shit. And I was so proud of him because he's fucking phenomenal too. He's fucking so great.
I forget if Zones was before or after that. Was that
Zones was before?
Zones came out in 2023.
Way before.
And then Echo Lake came out 2024.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in between that time.
Okay.
It was definitely before. Like,
but yeah, no.
So
we've gotten to meet a lot of great people through this.
So how did the song with Shisco, the GMO track, come together then?
So I've known he obviously introduced me to Shisco because I don't like reach out at all to anyone, and like I'm so happy, I'm so very lucky to have Jake.
He's an old head, like he can make all the friends, but like unless you meet him and know him, like you're not gonna to like all the people I bring around are like the same people that are just as close as me and him, but I go out and do stuff to where he's more like right place, right time, needs to see you and talk to you.
I am very lucky to have Jake because I've been making music since I was like 13, but I would never once think about like going out and this is what I do. But like having someone like Jake as like a partner in crime with that, he's the one that like introduces me to so many people and I'm very grateful for that. And obviously through Jake I met Shishko and Johnny and all them. And, so Shishko's been over a bunch of times. That was back when the studio was at my parents' house. And I wasn't even living there, but I'd be driving down to Derry and getting in the studio and shit. And we'd all meet there and we'd all have a good time drinking and smoking. And
so essentially GMO is made up of just us meeting and then getting drunk and then being like, hey, let's make a song.
Yeah,
and he makes a beat. He makes a fucking whole beat within 30 minutes and then just like that.
Shishko was back. I think Shishko was back in the area. And there was a few times where it was just me and him in the studio. And Shishko was back in the area, I think from LA. And me and him got together for a night and made GMO. And then there it is. And it's good. And I love them all. It's a lot of fun.
He's silly, Billy.
He is. No, they're all great. It's a lot of fun, dude. And they all get to, we've had nights where we're fucking, everyone's drinking downstairs and they come up talk to my parents. Take shots and shit with them.
Oh yeah, dude. I hit the point where I go up and talk to his parents for like 30 minutes because I need a little momentum break.
Yeah. But now, the studio's finally like where I am for the first time. So that's good. Just got to worry about neighbors now.
So let's transition then to music videos. The last music video that I could find, it was Control, which also had, you as well, JIN. and that came out in 2021 off the Quest EP.
Yeah.
So tell me how that music video like came together.
Again, it was like someone who I met like through my other friends who's a videographer. We started meeting, and he didn't know I was an artist, so I showed him some of our songs and talked to him about like him saying he produced it all and blah blah. And I sent him like a few songs, and he heard Control and was like, "I really like this. I want to shoot this." So that's basically how it went, and then got him to meet with us, and then within like 2.5 hours, he came to like my house in Danville, and then we went like 7 minutes away to like a little like mountain that's like around our town, and shot the whole thing right there. And
Mount Danville.
yeah, it was fucking, it was pretty good. But like, even that, but yeah, that's the last video that we did together. But like, even like that's what stinks right now. Like there's so much to do with videos, but like for me, like I can easily get videos, but for me now it's more about like having like a blueprint and a structure to the video, and like not just doing the video to do the video,
Right.
and paying like $5 to $1,000 just to like have a visual.
Right. On some
Sure,
run and gun
yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, the video because I noticed looking back on some of those videos, like I like feel so awkward in them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so looking back on them, sometimes if you do a music video, you're like looking at yourself the whole time, and you're like, oh, I'm like moving really weird right now. Like you're stiff as hell. And so when I look at those now, I'm like looking at myself like, oh, dude, I was
But
so
at the same
awkward
point,
as
though,
shit.
and that's true, but it's also very like blessing, right? Because then you get to look at the growth, and now like to like now like look at us, like that's when we were just starting to now we were doing shows to where we weren't even, we were like pissing ourselves getting on stage, and now to the point where like we can literally just get on there and feel like the man and just do a whole set and kill it
Right. Right.
and
I
feel
was-
comfortable.
I was
and
wearing a
us.
Nautica shirt with Nike sweatpants in that video. That's what I remember.
Dude, it was for our, it wasn't for our album release. You wore a Tribe Called Quest shirt.
Oh, that
In
that shirt
fucking
bangs.
khakis. In khakis.
I should have fucking thrown that one on.
So I'd imagine then the no funds. I'd imagine the no funds video was a similar vibe as that.
That was a little better because that environment was cool.
Okay.
Because we got into the
Yeah.
So there's this spot in Amesbury, and I don't even know if it's probably torn down by now.
Probably.
It
It
was
was
back
in
in
a whole
2020.
abandoned like factory.
Yeah, so there was it was like an abandoned factory, and these kids built a skate park inside of it, and that was where we did a lot of the filming in.
The
And that was
backflip at the
cool.
beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was at the skate park in the middle of a factory. They had a whole quarter
Yeah.
pipe and a iron working
Yeah, that
factory.
was
I was like, what the fuck?
I was gonna say that was a dope
It was-
shot.
Dude,
Yeah.
this shit went under. There was. You would have thought we were on like Ghost Adventures or some shit.
That's a
Like
song
I'm not even kidding you. Like it was fucking sketchy,
That's a
but
song that
so
fucking-
right for the video.
You remember the basement? In
'Cause
there?
we
There
had
was
no
a
funds.
basement in there too, and there, if you walk down, like you could see particles. Like, and then it was a Chris. He was like, "I'm not fucking going down there." You know?
Yeah, 'cause, dude, this shit,
It was
dude,
just so
dog,
like,
it went
asbestos city.
underground.
Oh,
And like
jeez.
to where you put your flash up and like you're just seeing only dust clouds going in
Yeah.
front of your camera. And you're like,
Oh,
yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, that was a we
I'm
shouldn't have
down
been in there
bad,
too
but I
long.
ain't that down bad.
Yeah, that's an itchy area. But yeah, no, that was a great ass. That was a cool spot, and I'm sure nowadays we haven't filmed a video in years, but I'm sure nowadays they're probably a little more loose on camera. But back then, back then I was like,
Whoa,
wicked,
whoa,
you know,
whoa, whoa.
no, you know what I mean. You know, have a few Modelo's. We were drinking
Yeah.
Modelo's during those.
Not me, it's Twisted Tea only.
So I
Shit, me.
interviewed Johnny Vargas a little while back, and I asked him about appearing on your As Seen on TV EP. So I
Yeah.
figured I'd ask you about your perspective on that EP. Like, how'd that come together?
Oh, I love that, dude. So we look back on that now, and it's fucking, that's a powerful little EP right there. Me and Johnny, he obviously introduced me to Johnny, and he had come to the studio a bunch of times, and he's a kid that he comes in the studio and he fucking knows what he wants, and I love that. Like he comes, like I'll lay down a beat, and he's got it, and he rips right through it, and we got a song, and it's awesome. And so we did that like 5 or 6 times, or a bunch more times. We put Ultra on Omnipresence, and but we made a little EP quick. Probably spent like 2 months straight, like him coming over and just banging through shit, and then we dropped that, and it was just it was a great time. It was a great little album, and I love going
Great
back on
little
and listening to that. It's he's very talented. I'm very lucky to have met him. Very lucky to have met him.
And you mentioned omnipresence. The other features that I noticed just throughout your discography, you had a lot of Ferrari and Roscoe Flemings on different projects, such as Omnipresence.
Oh yeah.
Is that like people that you introduced to him as well? Is that the same?
So Fry.
Yeah,
I've
his
known-
name.
Oh,
yeah.
it's not Ferrari.
No, it's not Fry. His
It
name's
looks like
his name's
Ferrari.
Fry.
No, his name
He's
is Fry.
Zimbabwean.
That's
His
how it's
name's
spelled.
Fry, but he's like again like a brother to me,
Okay.
and he's not like an artist, but like he's very talented. To like he was just like yeah, like I'm down to like lay some shit, and like
Carried
again
no
I was
funds.
hanging out, and then
Fucking
we just
suck.
made that shit, and then killed it, and then he was also the same one on the song Contact,
Yep.
and that was like his last song. But again, shout out to like my brother. That dude is great too, but he don't really shit. But Roscoe was my roommate, and
Oh,
he's
okay.
also like great fucking phenomenal artist. But like lately, it's just been like for us, it's like me and Ryan have been focused on doing like our shit and like worried about like everything we're doing because
Yeah.
we can't do like we are like we barely can like also like maintain with ourselves like to where now we've just like really kind of tightened it and became like the real duo and just been like doing our thing.
Roscoe is a supremely talented fucking rapper. It's a kid we've known for a long time, John, and he is just excellent rapper. And then Fry as well. So I've known Fry for a long time too. So and you know he like you said, like he's not like he doesn't make his own music, but when he's in the studio, like because when we were doing No Funds, he started like he's like, oh, we'll record, and this is like 5 years ago, and he laid down fucking like I did this shit for the fun, and I was like, damn, and it was insane. It was excellent. So yeah, dude, and he carried the song,
Bro,
you know?
yeah. And like
yeah.
again, like my family, like they're not musically inclined like that. Like they're city people to like at first it starts as a joke. Like they used to be like, yo, no funds, I got no funds.
Yeah,
and
no
then
funds,
suddenly
yeah.
all of a sudden they actually started really fucking with it.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
they started fucking nonstop posting, like sending me snaps and all that of listening to No Funds.
Yeah,
So I was
no funds
like,
legit
like-
was like because of Fry, it like was like our like landmark song for the law. Still is like anytime I see anyone that is like a fair weather fade head, you know, they'll be like, oh, no funds. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the song, you know. So like and Contact 2 was big. So any song Fry's on's a hit, which is funny.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because he's good.
Funds was how I got into both
Yeah,
of them.
yeah, dude. No funds. It's like almost 5 years ago now. But yeah, no, Fry's just
That's right
Fry's
around
great.
the
And
time we
Fry's a
started
very talented,
meeting
very
Shisco
talented
and
guy, and
shit.
so is Roscoe as well. We're very blessed to have met all these
yeah,
people.
I mean, well, that's the point. Is like
A lot of good talent in this area too, and
New
it
England's
doesn't get
filled with
discovered. You know, it doesn't get
mad
seen
talent.
because you're in New Hampshire. You know what I mean? And you're not exposed to all that. But like if you really dig deep, there's so much good that there's people around here to give, and I'm happy to have been a part of it.
shit.
So what's your perspective then as like more of a fan, like discovering that track? Like how did it feel at the time?
That shit, it just had like that nostalgic vibe to it. They very much make like nostalgic music that makes you feel like you're
Like, it's like car
2007
ride
again
music.
playing Game Boy and shit.
Yeah, like the
Like-
Akon.
It's like the music you listen to while your parents are fighting in the other room kind of shit.
Muffled no funds while your parents argue.
Yeah.
My parents are going through a divorce while I'm playing fucking SmackDown versus Raw
Agawam
2008.
McDonald's while your parents argue.
So I'm a fan of fashion, yo. I peeped that you was at the Mass Fashion Week. You had Neff Shooter shooting some shit for you.
Hey, don't, yeah, shout out my boy Neff.
Yeah, you
and
modeled too.
And shout out to Megan too, because yeah, I modeled too, but I haven't modeled for their like shit yet. But they every single year they do these Mass Fashion Weeks, and this is gonna be the 3rd year now that I'm doing it. That they've asked me to be a part of it, and it's coming, I believe, May 21st. I believe it's gonna be in Burlington at the Creative Arts Center. And I'll be performing a whole set there for the fashion week in the middle or split, whatever. But that will be great. And they're doing fantastic stuff. But yeah, again, fashion is hugely like intertwined with music and everything to where I'm highly blessed to be able to have people like ask me to be a part of their things, because it's not like I'm doing it on my own. They're asking me to be part of something that they're creating themselves, to where I'm very appreciative for stuff like that.
Okay, and you modeled for, I can't say this name because I fucked up
DB4?
Ferrari. That says
DB4.
DB4, the one with the X. It was like Anxetes. I don't here. You look at this the notes. You modeled for Anxetes.
Look at
That was the
nose.
Instagram.
Yeah, no, yeah, and then that's
Okay.
and I'm not gonna lie, like I probably don't know how to say it really either because that's
Okay.
also, no. It's no disrespect to that person, but at the same point, like I really don't even really know that dude. That was
Yeah.
again, I did a show, and shout out my boy Zay Music because the same dude DB4 and him,
Okay.
like I met them through like those type of people seeing me perform in the clothes that I wear, and they just for some reason like I drew attention to them. To like, I just literally got a DM one day and like told me, hey, I know like this dude, like I like your stuff. I want you to be in my photo shoot, and all I said was, I'm in. And and I was there. I fucking drove almost like an hour and a half deep center heart Boston. Almost got ticket toe, freaking low shit. Fucking 200 pass go type shit. Fucking get out of here. But yeah, it was pretty. It was great. Like just again to have people like that's why like for me like I need to actually be even better because I have a lot of things with people from Rhode Island and etc. asking me to go do it in New York, but I just I'm like 3 fucking hours or 2 hours. I ain't come on now. Like you ain't paying me, but at the same point, that's my own ego and shit. Like I should be doing that because it just gives me more coverage and exposure. But again, like those like dude, like he has a great brand, but again, like that gave me great following and more people from just doing something that my own soul and identity captured by someone to where again, I'm sorry, I don't like know how to pronounce the name, but that brand is fire. It is fire.
No, the
Fashion was
clothes were
meant for
It's
fire.
fire. It's really fire. But at the same point, again, that goes to show me is that's my own wrongdoing. Half the time I'm drunk and show up like high as shit. Show up high as shit. I'm just like I'm here. I'm doing it. But I'm not focused on the details as
Yeah,
much.
yeah, I feel you. So tell me about you had a February 23rd So Ripe Sessions Everland.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So I did the competition every last Thursday of every month in Lowell at their studios. They do a thing called Pass the Aux.
Okay,
And
yeah.
I was a part of it. I'm pretty sure it was the 4th one. And it was like Token and shit like as like the judges. And I ended up coming in 2nd place, which for me, I won a free video for the studio. And I chose Everland because like that was like kind of a old school, but like a newer vibe, like feel good type of song to not like my new more slow, sad, like kind of like fucking emo boy type weird shit. But like it sounds about like but yeah, that's like a lot of shit is like slow, like waiting for something like a good sound. But that was a
Yeah.
song that I felt like could get
It's more
like
marketable.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I did that to where actually we shot that and they released it, but he actually edited the beat and added some new sounds and stuff to where it's gonna sound different when we release it. But that was like again thinking that's something to introduce my album that's gonna be releasing that we've been working on for a while.
It's
And
coming
we don't
soon,
have a set date yet, but it's coming soon. Like it's all like almost fully done. But again, like he said like earlier, where we sit on song from like a year or two ago and drop it towards like we really want to perfect it before we release it and get the right path and the like just the look and make sure everything's right. But yeah, that song was fucking fantastic. And again, even so, I made so many fucking great friends from there to where even if you get sorry, you guys should go there every like the last Thursday every month because it's a great networking event for all people from around Boston, Lowell, Lawrence, etc. Like it's a great fucking place to be. And I mean, shout out So Right. That's all I can say.
So did you have a title for the upcoming project, or is that something that you're just gonna save for the end once you got all the tracks together and shit?
We do, but right now I'm again kind of like forgetting it. By the same point, I feel like I shouldn't say it because I
Yeah.
want to make sure we have a set date and everything before we actually release it. But it is coming and it's going to be fucking great to where you actually know the title. So if you want to say it, you can say it.
Well,
But
if we're gonna
it's
roll with
coming.
it, the Sound of Thought,
Mm.
I think might be the. But
Yeah, it is.
yeah, I think it's either we're on the fence, so we're gonna do some promo art for it, and I think we're on the fence right now as to if we're gonna do one more track for it,
Mm.
which we gotta figure out. But I mean, once that's figured out, if we can, we usually can bang out a song in a night, and then just it's tweaking from there. But if if we decide to do that, if we don't, it's gonna be his first album, which
Yeah.
will be good because the two he's dropped, Quest and Dystopia, are both EPs. So it'll be nice to actually have like a over 7-track album, like an LP. So that'll be nice. That'll be his first. But I'm excited as hell for that
Be a
because we'll have a good song on that too. Soviet.
Soviet, okay.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, hey,
that's gonna
that-
come
that
out,
was
yeah.
wild.
That's a slap
Yeah.
piece.
Oh no, he's got he got some crazy names.
That's a
on that.
slapper.
So what kind of vibes should people like expect from it? Like similar stuff from what you guys have released, or is it something completely out of like left field?
Well, I mean, Everland is kind of fucking out there as far as what we done. So
Yeah, I mean, yes, it is, but it's like it's kind of like the normal stuff. But again, like it's like just the same shit we always do. It's like we don't like try to be really different. It's just like again, we go in there, he starts making a beat that we think sounds good, and we just take it from there to where like we don't even know if it's out of left part because to us like everything that we make feels right at the time to where even if it's polar opposite from what we made last week or whatever, but it always feels right and it's just up to your guys' opinion when you hear it.
yeah, I think we're starting to gravitate. I mean, we definitely don't. It doesn't have really anything. I guess Soviet would probably be the most contemporary sound on the project. It's kind of more what we've been doing, like R&B style, like guitar laden.
Yeah, a lot of our shit's like for
jazz
like driving
influence,
alone.
you know what I mean? Yeah, we've really kind of geared towards more like
Silly Billy
soft
shit.
sound. You know what I mean? Like that's that we've always been that way, though. You know, it's you know, but that's what's going on here. It's gonna be a very nice project. I'm excited as hell.
Okay, word. And the last couple of things that I saw, we'll just finish it up really quick. I saw a visual for Akira slide, and Akira is a fire fucking slide, is a fire fucking name for that. You produced it, and it was shot by C-Note the One. You got any
Cino,
like?
dude, shout out my boy Cino. He's the same one that works with So Right.
Okay,
And he's
okay.
also again an amazing father, a great dude, giving great discounts and gives like again shoots content for like where most people would charge like 150, 200, and they'll give them like $50 reels or give them deals and this and that, and does this shit out of the love for like
Right.
underground artists and people that like really again like care about their craft. So shout out C-Note. But again, like with that, he capped like he's the one that took me to the spot where we shot it and everything, and he's the one that, yeah, he's
too.
that yeah that's
Okay,
gonna be on
okay.
the
Yeah,
album
that'll
coming
be on
as
the
well
project,
because
too.
again that's a song that's been like almost a year old but haven't been released, just little bits and teasers kind of like trying to implement in people's brains but not like post it to where like they have it already. I just want to like again just make people want it more than just kind of like throw shit in people's face and tell them you have to listen to this shit.
And lastly, I saw some Stray Vision TV performance, and you also had an interview after the fact too.
Yep. And
Anything you
again,
wanna
that's
touch on
another
there?
last thing to where didn't even know him a week prior, and he, I guess, from someone that like was like in the music shit, somehow got a hold of my account and seen me, and it was because of Super Bowl Sunday had someone cancel, and he's like, they canceled for Super Bowl. He goes, can you make it down to friggin' Woburn? I was like, I'm there. So I'd never met him, didn't know. I could have been a setup. You never fucking know, but I was just like, I'm there. I'm doing it. It's for my music. And he ended up being a fucking phenomenal fucking guy. New England Uncut is his Instagram, and he again has his own fucking website that he streams and records all of his stuff. Has an amazing camera setup. He also has a whole function altar if people want to do shows or comedy nights or use his studio to record for video sets, just like So Right. He does it, and again, Drew did it perfectly for free for me and asked me to come to him and shot that whole live set for 3 songs for me, and I'm very grateful for that dude because again, didn't know him from a hole in a wall. To just reach out to me and within 2 days be right there and make magic, and just that's another friend and a connection I just made off of just being a good person and not thinking like an asshole or a sketchy dude.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming out here for
And
the
shout
episode.
out to you
and
guys
shit.
too, and shout out Def Man.
Yeah, I want you guys to drop your
And the
socials
owner,
one more time.
Studio New Hampshire, and shout out Studio New Hampshire. This place is beautiful, and for anyone that needs content and shit, come here. Please come here.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys.
Gotcha, bro.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
I'll spill that
Delta
hot chocolate
Fade.
now.
Delta Fade.
Delta Fade.
Find me at _jake.is.next _. That's my IG, and you can find me on all platforms.
Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate you.
Silly bastard.
Smoking with Tutor, we out.
Smoking with Tuto, you fuckers.
Cool.